Hello, accountability buddies. This is Les with another episode of Less is More Healthy, and I am shooting this on the DJI Osmo Action 3 at Salem Willows, although I am not going for a walk today. Mostly because I lost track of time this morning and uh, blinked and it was 9 o'clock. so, um, yeah, I this has been a consistent problem in the morning for me is that I lose track of the time and have like realized when my alarm goes off for 9 o'clock, which is the old time that I used to leave for work, and I haven't updated that on my phone, um, that I am not leaving myself enough time to go for a walk. The other reason I am not walking is that I am pretty sore for my ride yesterday. So I hit 30, 30 miles, a little over 30 miles, 30 and a quarter, 30.25 miles. Strava and Komoot don't always agree. They're usually like half a mile off. Um, and I had ridden out to Bradley Palmer State Park where I shot yesterday's video. What I didn't know when I shot that video was what the trails were going to be like. They're wonderful hiking trails, and there are also wonderful mountain biking trails and also biking trails. There are paved carriage trails. There are also I'm gonna unroll the windows here for a second. So there are paved carriage trails, there are gravel carriage trails, so there are all those kinds of trails. And then there are mountain biking trails and hiking trails and horseback riding trails. And I didn't know what kind of trail I was getting on when I headed out. Um, I should have taken what's like considered the most family friendly trail, which was to my right. Instead, I headed to my left because I actually wanted the longer loop around the park. So instead, I ended up going on a hiking trail or pretty technical mountain biking trail, which my bike was not ready for at all. Yes, I'm riding a 90s era mountain bike, but it's got mixed use comfort tires on it, which were surprisingly grippy on those surfaces. Um, and so did better than I expected. Just two tour buses just drove by full of little kids, and they're super loud, super cute. So anyway, so I wasn't expecting the trail to be that technical. I headed off to the left along the river. It was beautiful, but I ended up pushing my bike for probably a mile and a half, and every time I turned around, there was a hill, and not a small hill, like a super intense incline of, like 12 plus degrees. Just super steep, super technical. And so the reason I'm sore today is not because I rode 30 miles. I think if I'd stayed on the roads or stayed on the paved or gravel carriage paths, um, I would not be sore. But because I went on the technical trails, there was some beautiful single track in there, which if I had a mountain bike, oh man, that would be great. Um, I would not want to ride it without some sort of front suspension though, because woof, man, it was rough going down hills. Um, I also saw a deer, which was super cool. So yeah. So anyway, the reason I'm sore is because I was pushing my bike up those hills. And every time I turn around, there's another goddamn hill. And the video that I shot is me basically being like, "Ah, Jesus Christ, another hill. Ah, fuck, another hill. Shit, another hill." Like, the minute I thought I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna be headed downhill now. I know I'm headed away from Moon Hill," and then it was just like I'd have this slight decline, and then boom, another hill. It was a lot. Um, and I was not prepared for that many hills Um, nor was my gearing capable of getting me up those hills at all. Also, they were still covered in leaves, so they were pretty slippery. So I would have needed mountain bike tires to make it up those hills anyway. So my tires would have just slipped and spun out, which is fine. That's a thing that happens. It's okay. So yeah, so that's like I kept like going around the loop, and there's a point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this turn, and then I ended up um in the main entrance of the park, which is not where I wanted to exit from. I got pretty turned around in there because I wasn't using I had the GPS on my phone, but I wasn't using it for directions. Um so yeah, so that was pretty intense. Like and I only did like I think 3 miles in the park. Only 3 miles, but it felt like I think it was in the park for an hour, hour and a half. And it felt like I was in there for 10 miles, more than that because it was so strenuous. So my legs are just shredded, not in like shredded muscular, but like shredded as in the muscles are torn up and very sore. My glutes are very sore. My upper body is really sore, and my hands are sore. I really have to look at getting new grips. The next paycheck, new grips are going on that bike. I'm not sure what I'm gonna get yet. I'm gonna read some reviews before I put grips on the bike. Probably something ergonomic though. So yeah, so that's why I'm not going for a walk today. I lost track of time. Also, I'm super sore. There is the short walk from the parking lot to the building. And then today I got to move around a lot and throw some trash away, basically digging through, hoeing through, and throwing away a lot of trash. Just getting some stuff taken care of. And yeah, so that's going to be good. Um Update on the ride otherwise, the road sections of it were good. I did end up taking a similar route out to the one that I'd taken to Ipswich last time. And then I took a the route that I took out of Bradley Palmer Park was the other end of the route that I had taken into the park last time, or in towards the park last time. So it was super nice. And just like, really happy with that kind of progress. Hitting the 30 miles felt really good. I really hoped for 40, and if I hadn't got into the park, I would have hit 40 easily, I think. It was just like the 5 miles in the park, not even 5 miles. The mileage that I did in the park was super slow because of the hike a bike. Um, which just makes me realize like I should probably practice pushing the bike, which just feels kind of stupid. Like, yeah, I'm going to practice pushing my bike. Um but like if I do end up doing any touring, I'm definitely going to need to be able to push the fully loaded bike. Um just because that's necessary. Like I just realized like if there are super steep inclines, you got to push the bike. You can't necessarily ride up them. So the thing that I am going to be practicing over the next week or so is inclines. I'm going to be working on my ability to climb hills. So I did end my ride yesterday. The last mile and a half was this section of road. Um, it goes from Dodge to Sawyer Road called Tozer Road. So Tozer Road is relatively flat, and then it becomes this very long, slow climb. It's not a huge amount of incline. At first, there's a pretty steep incline, and then it kind of tapers out. And it's just this long, slow incline that kills your legs. Whenever I hit, there's like a turn off into this office building. Whenever I hit that, I turn in there, just to catch a breather. And then what's really nice is at the end of that, there's this huge descent. And I hit 29 miles an hour going down that descent. and there are these beautiful wide bike lanes there. So you can really hit that speed and keep it up and not worry about traffic, clipping you. There is a stoplight at the end of it, so hopefully you hit it when it's green and you just get to blow through. I did have a moment yesterday where I hit that green light, um, was blowing through it, and a Amazon truck hadn't seen me and was about to make the turn out because someone was going to let him in. And I don't think the other person had seen me in, but fortunately, the Amazon driver saw me in time and braked. And it was one of the big Amazon trucks too. So yeah, it was just like it was a really good ride. Uneventful. Other than that, Amazon truck, no close calls with traffic. There was a lot more traffic riding in the evening, so I started out at 2 o'clock, around 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I didn't get home until about 7:30. So I was out for about 5 hours. Moving time was a little over 4 hours. I did take multiple breaks. Strava and Komoot keep track of that for me. So I'm able to see like moving time is 4 hours, 12 minutes. Recording time was over 5 hours. So, I did take several breaks. I took a break there in the park where I shot the video, and then at the top of every hike a bike, I had to take a break. And then finally, I took a break in Hamilton, at Patton Park, where I just kind of chilled out and gave my butt a moment away from the saddle. Um, I think on the longer rides, I think around like 15 to 10 to 15 miles, I need to give my butt a break from the saddle and the saddle a break from me. I did some research last night about like saddle fit and bike fit and whatnot, and I think I've always said that I want to bring my handlebars up a little bit and back a little bit more. Um, and that's for sure something that I need to do. Because as I was like doing this research on the bike fit, um, it matters where your handlebars are in like relation to the seat. So, if your seat's too far forward or too far back, then the nose of it's pushing up into your perineum and it makes it uncomfortable. So I'm gonna mess around with like moving the saddle forwards and backwards. I've moved it down, I think, enough, and now I think it's a matter of like moving the saddle, I think, backwards at this point, to get a better fit over the pedals in the bottom bracket. Um, but then I need to worry about like where the handlebars are, and I think that means I'm gonna have to buy another stem. I'm gonna go with another adjustable one. I mentioned it previously. Um, so picking up another stem that is longer and allows for a higher upright position, which will bring the handlebars up and back towards me, and I think that's gonna solve my seat issues. That and anticipating hills, because I think part of the problem is that there were some bumps in the park. My butt was fine. Um, the whole groin area was good until I hit the park. In the park, they have like speed bumps, which are like logs that they look like speed bumps, but I think they're actually to help keep the trail from washing out. They're logs that go over the trail, but the gravel comes up almost to the top on one side and is a little lower on the other side. So every single one of those is a bump. And then there were roots, and so I couldn't necessarily see where all of those things were, and it was like I was getting punched r- right between the legs a couple of times. And I'm thinking like that's part of the problem too, because the first 10, 12 miles didn't feel bad. There was a little discomfort, I think, from just being in the saddle for so long and not taking a break, because normally I take a break at like 5 miles. And I didn't take a break until 10 miles this time. And it wasn't really a break. It was more like I needed to look at my phone to figure out where the hell I was going. Um, so anyway, yeah, I've got to figure out the saddle fit, um, and just sort of the whole fit to the bike. And anyway, with that, this has gone on long enough. I will keep you updated with the rest of the updates that I'm going to be doing to the bike so that I can stop fiddling with. Also, the rear end, it's good now. I figured it out, so that's a good thing. All right, so with that, I am done for today. I will see you next time, hopefully with some more exercise and me being able to tell you I'm not sore anymore. I don't think I'm going to be sore for more than a day or two. So, all right, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching, and I really appreciate all the likes, the thumbs ups, the subscriptions, the conversation. It's all good. I hope this is helping keep you accountable in the same way that it's keeping me accountable.